Have you ever wondered or thought about how millionaires achieve this much income? What's the source of money that they earn every minute? It's not actually one source. There's a famous saying that average millionaires have 7 streams of income. But before that, we'll turn to the US tax authorities when they published in 2015 an unusually insightful research study titled Over the Top: How Tax Returns Show That the Very Rich Are Different from You and Me. The study, focusing on tax returns from a sample of 6,053 deceased wealthy individuals between 1996 and 2002, provided a glimpse into the hidden world of millionaires, revealing how they built their fortunes and income sources. Now, what did the study published by the IRS find? Yes, exactly. The wealthy build up to 7 sources of income. I'll briefly tell you the 7 sources so that you notice something similar in common among them. Number 1. Investment income, the distribution of profits from owned stocks. Number 2. Earned income, which is the income from a specific job. Number 3. Rental income from renting out some properties. Number 4. Returns income, which is the gains from selling certain ownership rights. Number 5. Capital gains from selling assets. Number 6. Profits from owned companies. Number 7. Interest income earned from savings accounts, bonds, and etc. Now, think about it. What's the standard note that gathers most of these income sources? The answer is, in short, passive income. And that's the vital topic of our video today. So, what's passive income? Why does everyone need to have one? And how can we build it? We'll know right now all of that together. I'm Ashraf Ibrahim, and this is Mad Economics. As long as we're at the mercy of our jobs, we'll remain financially stressed and afraid of the future, simply because we're on shaky ground of losing our job at any moment, no matter how long we've been in our career or the position we've reached. Some people may spend 20 years in a job and suddenly be laid off. In contrast, others may continue to advance over the years and get a position in the job they've been dreaming of their entire professional life, only to be laid off and find themselves jobless in the blink of an eye. Changes are constantly happening in markets and work environments, and one way to protect ourselves and avoid this situation is to achieve passive income. So what is this passive income? Passive income is revenue or profits that come from some investments or business interests without almost any effort. You're not required to go to a specific job every day or work a certain number of hours to get that income. Money flows into your bank account while you're asleep in bed. The US tax authorities define passive income as the net income from rent or income from businesses in which taxpayers do not materially participate. Of course, our viewers should note that the US tax authorities consider some activities passive income, and therefore impose a tax on them, while excluding some other profits that are regarded as passive income in the broader or looser sense, classifying them under the portfolio income category. Thus, the tax treatment here involves some details that must be noted. I think many of those watching me now are connected to some full-time or part-time job or run a business, which they rely on. Sandy Young, author of the book The Money Master, says that active income is exchanging time for money, like a full-time employee or someone working for their own business. Your earnings here are directly linked to the amount of time you spend working, and usually, you have a specific time you're committed to and receive a regular salary. Now, if you stop working or leave, you won't be able to get the money that comes in from this. This is active income. You have to go to work and spend hours there. This is not only related to a job. If you manage your project, your presence is necessary, and the project depends on you. Of course, some people work on another job and sometimes a third. The income they earn is also called additional active income. For example, someone who works as a driver for a ride-hailing app after their primary job, someone who has a specific skill or craft they work with after their primary job, and so on. All of this is active income. So before we discuss sources of passive income and how to build them, what's the importance of having passive income in the first place? Angela Moore, a financial planner and certified owner of the financial planning company Modern Money Advisor, says that income diversification helps provide stability. Passive income protects us against income loss due to payoffs, illness, disability, and discrimination. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 was a prime example of mass layoffs affecting millions of workers and the loss of millions of jobs worldwide. In a study conducted by the International Labor Organization, a United Nations agency, in early 2021, they found that the coronavirus pandemic caused severe job losses globally, amounting to 255 million full-time jobs in 2020. 250 million people suddenly found themselves unemployed. Therefore, having a passive income protects you against such unexpected circumstances. Another essential aspect is that passive income makes you accessible, not bound or constrained by time, and thus gives you the ability to focus on things you enjoy, such as hobbies, travel, skills development, or experiencing new things and building new and different relationships with people from other cultures. Ultimately, this will lead to improving your lifestyle and quality of life. This type of income will also allow you to retire after age 50 or 60, for example. Of course, you won't be able to stop working without a passive income. It's impossible. Your income will ultimately stop if you don't have some form of passive income. Of course, some countries have a mandatory or optional pension system. Still, with inflation, especially in developing countries, one would find that the pension is low and no longer sufficient for a moderate standard of living, so you can't rely on it either. And lastly, passive income can help you during recession and economic crises. This means that even if you have active income from a specific project, for example, if there's an economic downturn, it will likely affect your business activity. Consequently, your profits will be affected. Now, let's answer the most important question. What are the sources or strategies for building passive income? But first, a quick disclaimer. The forms of passive income that I'll explain may be suitable for one person but not ideal for another. And these are just examples. People should search their surroundings to find their strengths and exploit them to build passive income. The first idea or form of passive income is the income that comes from renting properties. Owning one or more properties and renting them out generates a regular income. However, this requires initial costs to purchase and prepare the property for rent. The rents can be short-term or long-term. So if a person doesn't have the capital to buy and rent a property, does this mean they can't build a passive income from property rentals? Let me tell you a personal story on that subject. In 2020, I was looking for a place to rent and turn it into a studio for my channel. I found a specific apartment, but its rent was high. I rented it and made the studio 1/3 of it. I furnished the other 2/3 in a hotel-like manner and rented them out on real estate platforms after I got to know the owner. So I started to earn an income that covered the entire rent of the apartment, with a profit margin of about 50% of the rental value. Here, I created what could be called leveraged income. I utilized an asset I already had, which is my rented apartment, added value to it, and rented it out again. Some people create leveraged income, but in a sustainable way. They take out a mortgage, buy a property, rent it out, and pay off the mortgage with the rental income. So they're using the bank's capital to create a passive income for themselves. Some of you would say, okay, sounds good, but I have a small capital, and I can't buy a whole property. Can I have a passive income from renting real estate? And the answer is yes, through real estate investment trusts, or REITs, which are funds that own or manage a group of income-generating properties. They simply buy the properties, rent them out, and distribute the rental returns to their shareholders. And I might have a large property, but I'm only using a small part of it, like a 2-story house. I'm living in it, so I can live on one floor and rent the other. Or a large apartment with several rooms and I'm alone, so I can rent out the other rooms and so on. We also have, in the same way, renting out spaces for storage. If I have a warehouse or an empty garage or storage space, I can rent it out and thus create a passive income source from renting real estate. The second form of passive income, stock dividends. Stock dividends are one of the simplest ways to generate passive income. When listed companies make profits, a portion of these profits is deducted and redirected to investors as dividends as a reward for their investment in the company. Investors can then decide whether to keep this cash or reinvest it in purchasing additional shares. The third form of passive income is income from intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights refers to products that have a creative aspect, which we work on only once until we produce them. After that, every use of them generates returns, such as writing books. After we write the book and it's released in the market, every copy sold generates returns for us. Similarly, writing content earns us returns from its sale and the appearance of advertisers alongside it. Digital products have a creative aspect, such as training courses or online lessons, which can be offered on platforms like Udemy. Income from returns also includes returns that come from patents. You earn a return if you invent something with every use of it. The fourth form of passive income is investing in a business project. Here, you provide the capital for the project but don't actively participate in its management. In this case, you're a silent partner and receive a share of the profits. You can do this through angel investing, venture capital, local micro-investments, or crowdsourcing investment platforms. To make the most of your time, we'll quickly outline some other ideas for passive income. Number 5. Renting specialized equipment or machinery to others. Number 6. Renting out your car when you don't need it, using platforms for car rentals. Number 7. Selling photos to stock photo websites like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. Number 8. Affiliate marketing by promoting other companies' products on your website or platform. Number 9. Creating and developing a mobile app to generate income through ads or sales, or developing mobile phone games where you can earn from in-game purchases or ads. Number 10. Dropshipping by operating an online store without stocking inventory, selling products shipped directly from the supplier to the customer. These examples illustrate where passive income comes from and how it can be adopted. You're the one who can determine which passive income sources are most straightforward and best for you. You're on the right track as long as you think differently about how to use your time and talents and leverage your money to generate more income. The basic principle of the most common path to generating significant passive income is to work in a primary job and use the active income to buy assets that regularly generate passive income. I know this takes time, but this simple compounding strategy can work like magic over time by adding investment profits to the capital, thus forming a more extensive base, accumulating more significant gains, and so on. The power of compound interest over time can turn into something incredible that you couldn't imagine achieving one day. In the end, I have a question I hope you can answer in the comments. Do any of you have a passive income? What's the source of this income? I'll follow all your answers in the comments, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one.